everybody, my name's Kimberly and I'm founder of Casey Consultancy, which is an international hub for supporting early years teaching, training and inspiration. With all the work that I try to do, I'm all about empowering early educators to be the best version of themselves by creating that perfect blend of professional knowledge and development alongside valuing their well-being and self-care. So hello and happy Monday. Hope you're all well today. I've had a really nice weekend. Again, lots of lovely walks, spending time with family, having roast dinners, and just taking a very slow approach to the weekend, which is always lovely. Now, this week is our final week of the morning show. We will be taking a break for a week and then we will be coming back in June. Gosh, I can't believe how quickly this year is flying by. So we'll be coming back in June and we'll be doing our morning show again, but the theme will be slightly different in June. We're mixing things up a little bit. So in June, we are going to have a book club, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that as the week progresses. But I just thought I would let you know that this is the final week for our morning show. Next week will be a break, and then we're coming back in June for our book club. Okay, so every week, I like to put some time aside to invest in my own training and professional knowledge and development. I think it's really important that we do that, and we look at the latest news and what the up-to-date research tells us that can inform our practice. So I make sure each week I spend 2 to 3 hours. It's usually on a Friday afternoon, and it's time just so that I can make sure I'm up to date with everything. And so last Friday afternoon, I decided to watch some videos over on the fabulous Early Years TV, which is by the wonderful Kathy Brodie. And I watched a great video all about foraging. And I thought it was brilliant, so I just had to share it with you today. So my wonderful members of the Who Got in Early Years accreditation, Chloe and Bridget, who are part of Pebbles Childcare. So they're two childminders that have come together to deliver high quality early years practice for the children that are in their care each day. And they've actually won lots of awards recently for their wonderful practice. And so they have featured on Early Years TV to talk about some of the things that they do as part of their everyday practice. So one of the things that they were chatting about in the episode that I watched was all about foraging. Now, I wondered if you do any foraging. Is this something that you promote or take part in as part of your daily routine? So for Chloe and Bridget at Pebbles, they go off on a walk pretty much every single day out into the local area. And during this time, they're looking out for things that they can forage. So, for instance, they're picking the wonderful elderflowers and bringing these back to their home and making some elderflower cordial and involving children in the whole process of it, making the labels for the bottles, and then the delight of being able to taste it and experience what they found and made. They also go off at the end of the summer and do blackberry picking and make blackberry crumbles or jam. And when I was listening to the show, I just got all these nostalgic feelings back. It reminded me of when I was a little girl and I'd go out with my grandma and we'd be looking for blackberries and picking these and bringing them back, or we'd be harvesting the rhubarb from the garden and making some lovely things with them. And then it just got me thinking about baking and cooking with children and how many of you actually incorporate cooking and baking as part of your day. When I was working up in North Yorkshire, we had children baking every single day in our foundation stage unit. So we had an area of provision that was set up for baking and cooking, like a little mini kitchen, and every day the children would bake fairy buns. So 2 children each day would have the chance to work with an adult at the beginning of the year to follow a recipe to make the fairy buns. By the end of the year, the children were so confident with following the recipe themselves that they only needed an adult to pop the buns into the oven and get them back out again. The rest of the process was done completely independently. And the wonderful thing about doing the baking every day was the fact that we got so much maths into it, so much literacy. We made our own recipe book so the children were encouraged to read the words because we typed the recipe up in a phonetical way for the children. We created pictures in the recipe book of the children making the buns themselves so it was relevant and so they could follow the recipe easily. But it was just great, and I think baking is such a lovely incentive to have because you've got a lovely treat to eat and enjoy at the end of it. Another thing that we used to do is we would bake a cake if it was somebody's birthday, so that we could celebrate in the specialness of a birthday, and we'd all come together and share a lovely treat. So another thing that the Early Years TV show reminded me of as well, with them talking about foraging, was when I went to Norway a few summers ago, and I spent some time with my friend Ragnhild, and we went up into the mountains. She lives in Seljord, which is a very rural part of Norway, very beautiful part. And we just went foraging for wild berries and mushrooms, and then brought these back and we cooked them with our tea, making lovely like lingonberry jams and wild sort of truffle mushroom risotto, which was just divine. So I'm just opening up our thoughts this morning and wondering about you and what you do to promote cooking and baking within your everyday practice. And do any of you do foraging? Do you spend time showing the children where food comes from, how we grow it? Maybe you've got an allotment that you visit. Perhaps you're growing fruit and vegetables in your outdoor area or in your garden if you're a childminder. Perhaps in the autumn you make the time to visit a pumpkin farm with your children. Visiting a pumpkin farm offers so many opportunities for developing language with all the size and the wonders of how these pumpkins have grown. So, that was just my thought this morning. What is it that you're doing to promote cooking and baking? I'd love to know. So if you're watching this live now, do just drop me a comment. If you're watching this back, then send me a message or leave a comment and let me know. Today I'm going to have a go at making some dandelion Play-Doh. So a very natural recipe. Never made it before, but I saw the idea online and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to try that today. Got lots of dandelions in our local area, so I think that will be a nice thing to go out and do. So I'll let you know how I get on with that, and I'll take some photographs and share the recipe with you as well. I always think it's nice to have children involved in making the Play-Doh. Is that something that you do as well? Do let me know. I'm always intrigued just to find out. Okay, well, I'm going to finish now with just a couple of things. So, happy news today. I saw a lovely programme on Early Years TV by Kate Moxley. And Kate Moxley is an early years consultant and trainer. She trains a lot in adult mental health first aid. And one of the things that I really liked that she talked about was about how we can have a breakfast bar for our staff. So often we think about children and how we want them to start the day really well and really positively by giving them a good breakfast when they come to us. But what about your staff? Can your staff start the day really well because we've supported them? So Kate talks about having a breakfast bar in your staff room, just with some cereal, some fresh bread, and just so that staff can be encouraged to take some time, have a good breakfast and just set them up well for the day. And I really liked this idea, so I thought I would share that with you. And then the last piece of news is that we only have 6 days left to sign up for my members hub. And I'm just blown away with all of the people that have signed up so far. It feels like we're really making an impact because we're working with our new members to change and transform the practice that they're doing, empowering them to have the confidence to take the lead and do what's right for their children. So if you'd like to join, our membership price is £15 a month. And as part of that, you get your 4 core modules that you can work through to create the foundations for all of your practice. And then at the end of your 4 core modules, you can then dip in and out of the other monthly modules that we have. So I've got modules in there by James from Nursery Nook, looking at loose parts. We've got a module in there by the wonderful Greg Bottrell, author of Can I Go and Play Now? And his module looks at the power and the magic of play, giving you the confidence to fight for play in your everyday practice. So we've got a great arrangement of modules. We also have some bonus sessions as well if you sign up this week. A bonus session looking at how we can bring you more joy and happiness in your day. So I hope you'll join us. It'd be lovely to have you. I'm really excited for the new members that I've got and looking forward to working with them. Okay, well, I hope you have a really lovely day and I look forward to speaking with you all tomorrow morning. Okay, well, take care. Bye.